Hi folks, Dave with DBS Tech Talk. Today we're going to talk about the Mass Drop Noble X Universals. Now Noble has been kind of on my radar for quite a while. I heard a pair at a audio meet and just loved them. I thought, man, these are awesome. And I looked up the price and I was like, holy moly, $1,200. And so I saw them on Mass Drop. And I saw they had several different versions, and I was like, I'm not paying the $1,000 for the high-end one. That's a little crazy for something that I haven't really, gotten to know very well. And so normally when I'm trying out newer companies, things that I'm not very familiar with, I'll try with the lower-end stuff and then work my way up. And so I saw the Noble X for $250, and I was like, $250. A little high for an IEM. Let's give it a little bit. Waited, and they finally went on sale for $125. And I was like, okay, not bad. So I purchased them, brought them in, and let's see how they sound. So going to change things up a little bit today. We're going to talk about sound first, and then we will talk about all the extra stuff and the actual IEMs themselves. So the Noble X Universal is 30 ohms, has a frequency response of 15 hertz to 20 kilohertz. They have a warmish tint to them, very much rolled off bass and rolled off treble. And the bass is interesting. Sub bass is pretty much non-existent. You really do not get any slam at all. Very few songs, every now and then you'll get a hint of it and you'll be like, oh wow, wish I got that more. But sub bass really is not prominent. It pretty much takes a back seat. These are very much mid bass and upper bass focused, and you get nice thump, nice girth to it, and nice body to the bass. Details are all right. These aren't not the most resolving bass earphones, but it's pleasant sounding. Does get itself in trouble on busier tracks or on bass heavy tracks. It will get a little muddled up. It will get confused at times and kind of merge everything together. The mids do get flavored based off of the bass. It does roll into it, especially in the lower mids, but that's a good thing. It gives a nice oomph to the mids. Vocals sound very much alive and full. They're a little forward. Male vocals especially sound very well on the Noble X. As you go into the upper mids and into lower treble, the sound will lean out just a little bit and become a little bit more on the brighter side. It is a little forward also in that area. On some tracks you can get a little aggressiveness, a little bit of sibilance and shoutiness, but it's not present very often, just on certain songs. For the most part, it's a pretty soft area. Not soft in that it's quiet, but soft in that it's smooth and has good details. It's not the most resolving, not the most detailed, but it's adequate. Then you move up into 8K to the 12K. It climbs nice. Has a nice extension in the treble. But when it gets to 12K, it drops, and it's not a roll and just kind of goes down. I'm going to roll off the top of at 12K, and then I'm going to go and it's a cliff, and that causes problems. You lose energy, you lose sparkle, you lose airiness, you lose the shimmer, and just sounds fading off and going into the distance that doesn't exist. So cymbals and hi-hats, vocalists, the notes will just abrupt immediate. They'll go and just quit, and it makes things sound a little pinched or cut, and you just wish for more. And it's kind of lackluster in the treble. Well, it's more than lackluster in the treble, and it causes the Noble X's to sound boring. They're just kind of meh. I mean, they have nice bass and mids, and then you get to the treble and you're like, where's the aliveness, the energy, I want to get going parts. It doesn't exist. They're like the person that comes to work and is like, I'm here. How was your day? What are you doing tonight? What are you going to do today? They're just there. They don't show any energy. They don't show any gumption. Soundstage is also very interesting. You take your stage, draw a line across it, and everything stands on the line. Nobody is an inch more forward or inch further back. No one's a foot or anything. They're all there, and they're all spaced out evenly. It's just, and all the vocalists are in the middle. Doesn't matter the song, vocalist is in the middle. And it's just right, center, left, and right and left are always instruments or outside noises or other things other than vocals are in the middle. It's kind of odd, and you don't get any layering or any depth. It's just somewhat wide and decently spaced. You get separation. You know if something's on the right or on the left, or if it's in the middle because it's a vocal. You just don't get mixtures. You don't get the, oh, that guy is a little to the right of the microphone or to the left of the microphone. You don't get any of that. It's just there, and the imaging is not very precise. It's just, well, I'm over here, I'm over there, they're there. It's kind of lackluster. I think I was harsh on the sound. Let's open up the can. So the can's different. Most of them come in a box of some sort. These come in like this can that reminds me of canned ham. If this said Hormel on it and had a picture of ham, it'd be canned ham. You twist off your little lid, and you get a bag with tips and a little cleaning tool. I mean, they give you enough of them. Problem is, none of these fit me. The foams, which are comply tips, were expanded way too much and just expanded my ear canal and just made it hurt. The foam tips don't have anything to grip, and they fell out. They're comfortable. They just don't insert very far, and you just excuse me, and they don't stay in place. So, first problem, you have to tip roll. And I try to use stock tips on all my IEM reviews, and I give the stock tip as much of a chance as possible, and those could never win me over. I tried every single one of them multiple times and had the same complaint every single time. Next up, you get a little Noble card. It says Noble X on it, and then it has some specs and information on the back. And you get a tuna can that's made of plastic. It says Mass Drop Noble. Okay, next complaint. The cable. The cable is okay. It's a 4 braid. It's thin, but it's usable to the split. So you get a 3.5 plastic housing. It's no big deal. I mean, I've felt worse cables, but they usually come on $30 or $40 IEMs, not a $250 IEM. And then you go to a metal split, and it's got the Noble logo on there. I don't know if you can really see it. And it's got a little plastic sheath slider, which isn't bad. It's all rubberized and braided. I mean, it's decent. It's not bad. Then you go to the IEM, and where it comes out from the IEM to the preform is extremely short. So there's your IEM and there's your preform. That doesn't even go around the top of your ear all the way, unless you have extremely small ears. And if you have small ears, you will not be using this IEM. So they should have made the preform a little longer, and it's really loose. Next problem, it is a 2-pin, but that's not the problem. Problem is the IEM itself is extremely large, has a massively big bore, and a short nozzle, and a really thick, chunky body. And it's just, it's pretty to look at. It has the logo on it. It's like this dark bluish slate color, which isn't bad. But that body is just too thick. You take the tip off, and you can see how short that nozzle is. Has a very extremely small lip for tips. Has your 2 vents for your 2 balanced armatures. And it just doesn't fit in your ear very well. And tips are extremely hard to put on. Okay, back. Had to chase that down the hallway. So, got the tip back on. But as you can see, I mean, it's just chunky. Let me get another IEM and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So this is the Advanced Sound M5 1D. And it is a chunky boy also. It's nice and thick. But take a look at the way that it's built and angled versus the Noble. The Noble's very short and fat, and the nozzle is not angled well at all. Also, look how much bigger this part is compared to that. Even though the Advanced Sound M5 1D is larger by a significant amount, it's just built better with the angle and the size of the nozzle. And so when you put that M5 1D in, even though it sticks out, it inserts and stays in place. Those are stock tips, and it fits very well. With the stock tip, or stock cable and stock tip, make sure I'm putting this on right, and you put it in your ear, hold on, it just, for one, the preform's way too short, and these just wobble around. They're so top heavy, and that nozzle's way too short, and they just don't stick in your ear. At least for me. I can't get them to insert in, so they're just sitting right on the front part of the canal, and the cable just pulls them right out. That causes major problems with seal, which causes problems with your bass, and also causes problems with your treble. Your treble will sound shouty and sibilant, and your bass will sound flat and blah. And guess what? That's the way they sound to me. So I had to tip roll insane amount. I tried all the stock tips. I tried Deconi bullets, Advanced Sound foams, newbie foams. I tried Comply foams, spin fits, various ones. I don't remember all the model numbers. And I tried RHA dual density tips, which always fit my ears. And none of them worked. Really, none of them worked at all. And so I was rummaging around, and I decided to go through every single IEM I have in the office, pull the tip off, and put it on to the ears. And so I went through every single earphone I had, came across the Audiophile IT01, and the stock tip has a wide bore on it and fits perfectly onto the Noble X. And that is the only ear tip that I can get to hold in place in my ears when I change one more thing, which is the complaint, which is the cable. And so after I had the right tip on and it was still jiggling around in my ears, I had to get a different cable. And so I found the TRN 8-core silver cable. Metal, 3.5, nice strain relief. Look at that weave, nice and thick. Goes to a nice metal split. Has a really nice slider on it. And then, oh look, it curves here. Here's the strain relief. That's where the strain relief ends. And the preform ends. So a lot more goes around the ear a whole lot better, and it's a lot stiffer. So these fit a whole lot better. So when you take your Noble X, this one's the left, this one is the left. Stick that in there. Stick that there. Connect. So when you put them in your ears now, with those tips, they actually stay in place because the preform isn't pulling away from my ear and is long enough that it goes down and actually wraps around my ear, so I'm getting a good seal. Now isolation's not that great with these. I wouldn't plan on using these in a very loud environment. Comfort is another problem. I could only wear these for maybe an hour at most before my ears just ache from hurting in the ear canal because of how large they are. But sound improved. But they still have that boring, I'm here. Nothing great stands out about them. The Noble X Universals, I really wanted to like these. And they're okay for $125. They're nothing spectacular. They don't blow my mind, but they don't bother me. I mean, I can listen to them. I just wish they were better. They're just meh. Noble X, $125. They're alright. $250, forget it. $500, which these are compared against, no. Can you get better? Yep. SimGuy EN700 Pro, Audiophile IT01. There's many others that you could get. Those two come to mind. If you want to spend more money and get something better, the ADV M51D, the ADV Furai. There's a whole lot better than these. They're alright. They're not great. They're meh. This has been Dave with DBS Tech Talk. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video. Speaking of next video, somewhere on the screen is going to be a subscription link and notification bell. If you haven't already, please check those off. If you want to know about the channel, have questions for it, sending gear to loan, anything of the sort, check out the links down below. There's playlists, Discord links, and all kinds of good stuff. Thanks.